Okay, back for the 10th and final part of my Halo Ruby's Rebalanced mod playthrough.
It'll hold.
We're not gonna make it.
We'll make it.
Pull up! Pull up! You did that on purpose, didn't you?
Just letting that play out because that's an amazing cutscene. This level, I can really have my kind of feelers sticking up because this is, like I said, my favorite level in the game, and I know this level inside and out enough that I actually, one of my first writing projects that I ever did was I wrote a 130-page paper on how analyzing every aspect of this level. So, and I just realized how gloaty that sounded, but I can definitely tell if there's one level where I can pick apart all the little minor differences, that it would be this one. I'm really interested to see what they did with this. I really liked, well, it isn't really the mod as a level, but the setting that they did in Flood Rebalance. That's probably my favorite depiction of this. SPV3 did really good too. Oh man, okay, so they already added that section. More set. Oh, and they fixed the door too. That's oh, that's only on anniversary graphics. So they gave you the shotgun right on the start, but then that's made up for by the fact that there's no flood that spawned in this area. That's a good trigger. Oh, and the flood spawn triggers sooner than it does in the regular game, so... Was that infected crewman? Yeah, it is. Keep finding new things in this mod. I want to keep calling it a game, but it almost is its own game. I keep forgetting how much of a threat the hunters are now. They are very problematic. I definitely won't be able to rely on my usual strategy of rushing past the elites so that the second blade doesn't spawn. Pistol much more useful. What I think might be cool to use. Need Enabler versus Hunter. Let's see how this plays. It's interesting to see the Hunters are not paralyzed by infection forms anymore. Oh, and they actually show that cut corridor between the bridge or the bridge corridor and this one. Did my pistol despawn? I think it did. No, it's... Not sure if that's the one that spawned there by default or if that's mine, but I don't care. This room is computer, and with the enemies more aggressive AI, it'll be a lot harder to flush them out. That is not what I meant to push either. Luckily, I have a bunch of grenades. Because usually, okay, the way that I usually play this, I wait for cloaked grunts. Even in the final level, I'm like finding these new amusing things. Usually my strategy with this is to go to this side where the Hunter's breaking down the door, wait for the door to break down, and then while they're still distracted fighting the infection forms, I rush forward and into the bridge. That causes a music glitch at the end of the level, but it's a lot easier than actually fighting these guys one-on-one. Or not one-on-one, it's like 1-on-4. Okay, so they've fallen back. After you kill... Handy tip, if you kill a certain number of these, then they'll fall back into the bridge corridor. So... and they show this corridor as well, which was actually open all the way up to the 1749 beta, and then it's cut. So that's why the sparks are in such a weird place, even on the retail version, where they like come out of the wall.
The bridge. We made it. Let's get to work.
Shield is in a different place. Because that was over there. Actually. No, that shield is not in its usual place. That shield's blocked. Okay, so there's more of them. This is just as much me rambling about all the differences as it is about telling you about all the differences.
I need you to upload me into the control system.
Oh,
The
and
is located next to the main view screen.
so you can actually access this hallway now. That's interesting. I don't really see what the point of that is, but maybe there's some altered sequence with the mother. I'm gonna let this cutscene play out and see
for a
what's
few days
different.
and look what happens. This won't take long. There. That should give us enough time to put some distance between ourselves and Halo before the detonation.
I'm afraid that's out of the question, really.
Oh, hell.
Ridiculous! That you would imbue a warship's AI with such a wealth of knowledge? Weren't you worried it might be captured or destroyed?
He's in my data arrays, a local tab.
You can't imagine how exciting this is to have a record of all of our lost time. Human history, is it? Fascinating. Oh, how I will enjoy every moment of its categorization.
Now, how on earth would you get a warthog into the engine room?
Well as this
That's what I would want to know. Because all the entrances to the engine room are the
almost
small
finish up
doors.
my words.
He stopped the self-destruct sequence.
Why do you continue to fight us, Reclaimer?
And that flashing
You cannot win.
red light actually really
Give us
kind of
the
adds to
construct, and I will endeavor to
visual.
make your death
Makes it more
relatively
cinematic.
and
At least I still have control over the comm channels.
Where is he?
I'm detecting taps throughout the ship. Sentinels, most likely. As for the monitor, he's in engineering. He must be trying to take the core offline. Even if I could get the countdown restarted, I don't know what to do.
How much firepower would you need to crack one of the engine shields?
Not much. A well-placed grenade, perhaps, but why? Okay, I'm coming with you. Chief, Sentinels! The ship was heavily damaged when it crashed. Head to the cryo chamber. You should be able to get to the
Got that camo. Something that's been on my mind for this as I've been playing this, the more liberal use of power-ups. I'm not sure really how I feel about it, because like, when you found a power-up in Halo 1, it was really a special occasion. They were clearly put there on purpose. Whereas with this, you have a lot more of a purpose to... You have a lot more of them scattered around, which is interesting. It gives you new and creative ways to use it, but I don't know. It's more just a thought than anything else. Thought on how rare power-ups are in the base Halo 1 versus this. Let's see if I can see past this. Oh, jeez. Okay, that is not a good way. So that's the whole point of that, is so that you can sneak back around, although I think I'm going to stick with the regular route. I guess it depends on how much fuel is here. There's no fuel for it. Oh, yeah, you know what? There's just not enough fuel here to justify that. I have a lot of ammo for the shotgun. Is there anything interesting down here? I'm gonna try and kind of still wait. Oh, so they... Much more continuity between this one and the last one. Okay, so this feels more like an SPV3, where it's all dark. So, funny story, that area that I was just in, that normally just gets closed off, into the pillar bottom. One of my oldest dreams that I remember is actually in that area. This area where you could go down, and after this door there would be a little ramp downward, and then there'd be like a central pillar area that would have a circular corridor around it. It was interesting. Not like relevant to anything, but interesting nonetheless. Like these areas that they've opened up, it's like adds multiple different paths and stuff. Oh, and the old cryo base still. Yeah, I really love to see these old, a lot of these areas open. It doesn't affect the linear progression of the level, and for someone who doesn't know this level, they probably removed it because for someone who doesn't know the level, it would probably be a lot worse, but for someone who does know the level, it makes it more interesting. Oh, jeez, that's a sword. Noted. And I do like that there's fewer sentinels in here. The other sentinels were not really a challenge in this area, just more a waste of ammo. Then again, maybe it's just because I'm playing. I do like how they've taken like these cues from SPD3, because SPD3 it is my favorite representation of the vanilla Maw mission. It's extended to just the right length, and it has a crazy amount of added detail and stuff. And the fact that it's like this carnival house of horrors, because everything is all dark, really adds to the atmosphere. And there's no visor. Why am I trying to skip the spawn? The spawn already triggered. Because the spawn triggers early. And up comes my least favorite part of the level. This is more skill than, or more luck than skill. Luck of the draw on that spawn, which thankfully I didn't get a carrier form spawning there, and I got a good spawn that allowed me to push through. The quality of this flood biomass, it's higher in some places than it is in others. Like some places it looks really good, other places it really does not. I will say it does add that it's here, though. Oh, my goodness, I just remembered that it could be a rocket flood. Oh, there's another rocket. Okay, so they did not add the rocket flood from... Funny story, in the 1749 pre-release build of Halo 1, there is a rocket launcher flood standing down there. And again, continuity adding that support into the room. I don't think even SPD3 did that. Oh no. All the way back here, okay. One of the faults of the Maw, unfortunately, is checkpoints. It's not the most consistent when it comes to checkpoints. Just gonna see if I can just bust through here. Very helpful that you don't have to attack the sentinels in the corridor. There's another flamethrower there, but I think I'll stick with what I have. Keep running down there, expecting there to be an overshield. Of course, there isn't. There's nothing. Wait, does that control panel do anything? I should have been checking those little alcoves, see if the control panel did anything. Was it Zoe's mod that had that addition? Where there was one section, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in Zoe's mod in the pillar bottom, where they had one of those little maintenance cubbies that had a doorway that led to another extended part of the level. It's some weird texturing that isn't on the regular mod. Wondering if there's going to be anything more insidious in here than just stealth blood. Oh, and they changed the... Oh, so they're all stuff.
I have left room for your bones.
I think this is supposed to be another grave mine. I think that's what this is meant to insinuate. Oh, and the door doesn't lock. Okay. Another proto-grave mine. I think that's what they're trying to entail there. Let's see, is there anything else? I don't really know what I'm going into, so I don't know what to take. I think I'm just going to stick with my standard fare. Rocket launcher shotgun. I wonder if they added anything to the blank room. Oh, so they added actual textures and stuff. Because in the original mod, that was just a blank room, literally, without even the supporting braces. Oh, and these things face outward, okay. That's gonna mess with my head.
Engine room located.
Engine room doesn't look too different from if the cutscene is to be believed, except for a warthog, which I still would love to know how they...
I'll walk you through it. First, we need to pull back.
Is there like any extra doors or something that they added? I don't think so.
The primary fusion drive core.
I don't know why I'm questioning this so much, but it just messes with my brain as to how they managed to get a warthog through one of the small entrance doors in here. I did find an overshield out of it, which is good. And I'm going to have to check every single little panel to make sure that there's nothing that can be activated. That's... probably completely pointless, but there might be something there. Fuel rod grunt down on the bottom. Noted. So just interesting, yeah, they've added like these decals and stuff. This really feels, okay, I feel I should start talking now about like my closing thoughts on this mod so far and everything. This isn't just a rebalance. It feels like a proper... It feels like it's what Halo 1 would have been if it had just had just a little bit more time of development and a more powerful console that could handle more
You
things.
destroy this installation as well as
Good. Step 1 complete. We have a straight shot into the fusion reactor. We need a catalyst.
Yeah, there's just so much polish and so many small details that have been added. It really is. It has pleasantly surprised me. I was expecting this to be just a bunch of weapons being pretty much the same game, other than that, maybe a few extra rooms or something. But this has been a really nicely polished and really well done product. I was about to say product. It isn't really a product, but this is way the ultimate kind of summary is that. What, your grunts? Yeah, there's grunts. My ultimate summary would be that it is a lot more polished and a lot more extensive of a remake than I expected it to be. It really deserves the title of remake, not just rebalance.
You must surrender the construct.
Oh, and I forgot to check the control
One more
panels on
fusion
that
reactor
side.
to go.
Is that a... No, that's just a piece of his armor. I was gonna say, is that a plasma pistol sticking out of his shoulder? That would be creepy as hell. If there was, like, a gun just randomly sticking out of their biomass. Ugh. I'm gonna go to the armory anyway. Refill shotgun ammo. Yeah, so none of the control panels actually do anything. Didn't expect them to, but you never know.
Matrices are realigned.
If Spark could actually proc that, that would have been so poetic.
Engine's gone critical. Rate of decay. We should have 15 minutes to get off the ship. We don't have much time. We should move outside and signal for evac. Accessing schematics. There's a service lift at the top of the engine. It leads to a Class 7 service corridor that runs along the dorsal structure. Hurry!
Oh, there's a lot of flamethrowers out there. Okay, so there's active camo and plasma grenades on the other side, and a bunch of flamethrowers on the other side. Oh, so they actually... SPV3 did the same thing. They're depicting the scene where Zuka Zanami tries to ambush the Master Chief with a shade turret. Explosion decals and stuff on the way up. That's a nice touch.
The Pillar of Autumn's engines are going critical.
Rebalance did a lot better at destruction in this mission than this level did, but
Negative. We have a wildcat destabilization of the ship's fusion core. The engines must
still
have
good.
sustained
It's
more
definitely...
damage than we thought.
Analyzer. We have 6 minutes before the fusion drives detonate. We need to evac now.
I
Activating
forgot I don't have to worry about the two robots. I don't have to worry about grenades. Oh no. What a way to start. Holding back because normally I hold back to wait for the fuel rod to blow up.
Analyzer. We have 6 minutes before the fusion drives detonate. We need to evac now. Activating final countdown.
Oh, and you can use a ghost too. I think I'm going to stick with a Warthog just for thematics, but gotta try a ghost run at some point. Got good ones. So far, other than... It's nice that they've added the explosion details. I'm not noticing anything else different except for the ghost so far. That distance different than it normally is. No fire effects up there. I don't know why, but when there's a shadow instead of a shade.
Cortana to Echo 419. Request extraction now. On the double. Affirmative, Cortana. Full hammer inbound.
So I guess it was just me.
Wait, stop. This is where Fohammer is coming to pick us up. Hold position here.
Oh, and so there's other bridges. That's
Cortana to
interesting.
Echo 419. 2 Covenant Banshees are approaching on your 6. Evade. Say again, evade.
Oh, and they actually shoot. Oh boy, okay, gotta move. They're shooting at me now.
Echo 419! She's gone. Calculating alternate escape route. Ship's inventory shows 1 longsword fighter is still docked in Launch Bay 7. If we move now, we can make it.
One thing I really hope does come to fruition, just thought of, speaking of distances and stuff, if you remember, Installation 00 made a video about the Warthog run and how it could actually work with the distances that are involved and stuff. I really hope that that's... You said that somebody was trying to make a mod for it, but that hasn't come to fruition. I hope it does something. They're giving you a lot of checkpoints here. That might be a mistake, but because if you're already like really behind, you can get yourself a soft lock, but even now they have like flood biomass and stuff.
You need to get aboard now!
Added spirits, crashed pelicans and everything. It's really a lot of these. You know what? I have 2.5 minutes left. I'm gonna explore the hangar a little bit. Or do they maybe also... Okay, good. I was gonna say, that would be really cheap if they made it so that you could actually explore. Although it doesn't look like they've just focused on that section, which makes sense. This would have been a cool place to like put an Easter egg or something for those that explore it. Whatever. Oh, I guess. Oh,
Hey yo, Ruby Blue here. I've had a blast showing love to one of my favorite games of all time, so I hope you enjoyed playing this mod in equal amounts. Speaking of blasts, things are heating up, so you should probably get your ass out of here already. Don't forget to
thank you. I definitely have had a fun time playing this game. I don't even want to call it a mod. This is kind of just a remake in itself. This is almost like SPB3 is, just kind of its own thing. It's not meant to replace Halo 1, it's just its own thing. And it feels like very high production value. I'll close out my thoughts when I actually am thinking coherently about it, but...
We're cutting it close.
Here we go.
Shut them down. We'll need them later. Fancy a look?
Did anyone else make it?
Scanning. Just dust and echoes. We're all that's left. We did what we had to do for Earth. An entire Covenant armada obliterated, and the Flood. We had no choice. Halo, it's finished.
No. I think we're just getting started.
Okay, the fact that he added in the monitor flying scene that's so cool. It's been removed from this since Anniversary came out, and so cool to see it back in again. Thoughts on Ruby's Rebalanced mod? It was a lot better than I was expecting. I was expecting just a couple of weapon tweaks and stuff, but this has a very high production value and a lot of content for what it is. It tweaks just about every section of every level of this game. And I literally have one complaint, which is the way that the carrier forms blow up. But other than that, I can't think of a single other thing that I complained about, which is very high praise. Definitely, if anyone is thinking about playing this, definitely recommend it. I guess I'll just wrap that video up on that note. Don't really have anything else to say there. Yeah, just go support this guy. He does some really cool things. Till then, see you whenever I upload my next video, which will probably be back to Mech Assault, but whatever. See you guys there.